Hi there Capricorn, welcome back to Wild Lotus Tarot. This is going to be your weekly intuitive tarot reading for July 13th through to the 19th. Whoa! Let's get your oracle card out without dropping the whole lot. You know what, I just started your reading and then the battery went flat, but the same thing happened. I dropped the whole deck and they were going everywhere. So lots of energy in the cards today. Let's see what your overarching theme or energy is, please, for Capricorn, July 13th. That one's poking out. Ooh, in the temple. Devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. You know, that card there is always a message for me, you know, to tune into your intuition, and that's found in the body, not the mind, guys. So the centers of the heart, the gut, the third eye, it can come to us as feelings, flutters in the stomach, tingles on the skin, or visions that might come to us in our dreams or meditating, or sometimes just when we're out, you know, taking a walk or doing something we enjoy. Yummas, beautiful. I will take you through the oracle cards in just a moment. Going to get your tarot cards out first, Capricorn, starting with your recent past energy, what you might be currently journeying, energies leaving, completing, or transitioning in your life this week, crossing over from the weeks previous. Let's get your card out. Energies completing for Capricorn, there it goes. We've got two. Oh, we've got the Four of Swords and the Seven of Swords. You know what, some of you might be recovering from some kind of hurt with that Seven of Swords. You know, maybe a betrayal, a deception, could be a lie. You know, it can be your own deception of yourself. It can involve another person. Let's see what else comes out. There goes your focus energy. Oh guys, all the swords. The Nine of Swords. That's obviously caused you some stress or sleepless nights. Let's get your result outcome energy out. And that's why I think you've got that in a temple card, guys, that oracle card, because the swords is that being stuck in the mind, right? The over-analyzing, the stories, the scripts running, the ego. So you're being asked to come back into the body, out of the mind this week, right? There's been a deception, there has been something going on, but it is time to change that now and move on. All the swords, guys, all the swords. Let's clarify, that can change the game, give us the next layer of information. Let's clarify the Seven and Four of Swords. It's not that one, it's the one that's flipped over in the deck, which is Serenity, which is, guys, the Hermit energy. Yeah, definitely been retreating, that's for sure, to get over whatever this is. Let's clarify the Nine of Swords. Two nines, I mean, this could have been unfolding for a while. 9 days, 9 weeks. 9 months, hopefully not 9 years. Haha, there it goes, Starseed, that's the Fool. There's a new beginning to be had. That's what this Eight of Wands wants to bring in, that swift change. But I feel like we're going to have to let something go in this situation. You're going to have to let the stress go. You're going to have to move into acceptance. The Tower, yeah. I mean, that could be the revelation that needs to happen, the acceptance, in order to move forward. Five of Pentacles at the bottom of this deck. Yeah, I think some of you have been feeling really, you know, hard done by. Left out in the cold, left alone, that sort of thing. Okay, Capricorn, let's start here with your oracle cards. We have the beautiful Yamas card from the Yogic Path deck, which is about universal mortality. I'm looking in the book for this one. It says that your kindness, compassion, and generosity beam all around you, and this does not go unnoticed. It says here that you're focusing now on what truly matters and have let go of excess belongings, and you're practicing non-possessiveness. Continue shedding all that doesn't serve you as you blossom closer to your highest self. Absolutely, Capricorn. You know what? Whatever the situation is, it's definitely not in alignment with you, and it's time to move on so that you can have this beautiful new beginning here. And of course, you know, inner temple, devotion, come back to the portal of the heart. That is also about compassion, compassion for self, but also extending compassion to others, even if they have crossed the line with us. Compassion doesn't mean having no boundaries, but it means that, you know what, we need to forgive and forget, let go, because otherwise these situations like the stress that we see here can become toxic, it can fester, right? And it can affect our health, and it can also energetically bind us from moving forward. We can get quite stuck here. So I'm going to start here in the recent past, Capricorn. Four of Swords, Seven of Swords, the Hermit energy. Now, generally when I see the Hermit, like, it's quite a good thing. You know, it can be that moment or that longer period of time of self-reflection, of turning inward to seek wisdom, to understand. But together with the Four of Swords, I feel like there could be definitely an amount of stuck energy here, or maybe taking quite a long time to recover from some kind of deception, some kind of hurt here, right? So it is good to take time out to heal. The Four of Swords has the link here to the Three of Swords, to heal from the hurts, the disappointments, the despairs, the heartbreaks. But it's important not to, you know, stay trapped in that energy, not to stay. Sorry about that, Capricorn. I did get a phone call that I had to take. Electrician, I broke a light switch, so I cannot use the bathroom, so it was important that I answered that call. Okay, guys, so as I was saying, you know, I'm feeling that there has been maybe a little bit too much time here taken for this recovery, and you know, it can fall into that sort of stagnancy mode, or dwelling on hurts, which isn't a good thing because it keeps us kind of stuck to that energetic charge, right? Now, Seven of Swords, obviously there's you know, levels to this energy, ranging from, you know, somebody maybe telling us a white lie, right through to maybe someone cheating on us, or somebody, you know, stealing our thunder at work, undermining us, even manipulation and that kind of things. This is a general reading, guys, so you'll know if it's your reading, if you were journeying something like this. I do feel like it's another party involved, because generally, you know, that would be a reason for us to really retreat and feel this hurt. If we're just kind of under our own illusion or deception or lying to ourselves, we're normally out there in the world just carrying on, because we're doing that so that we can kind of protect ourselves and keep on moving. So I feel like there has been another party involved. They've done wrong by you in some way. You've gone into your shell, but you've kind of stayed there, right? So the Three of Swords, you know, is about taking that time out in order to get that new battle plan, to launch into, you know, that new beginning. Because you'll see here that the soldier has the Ace of Swords right underneath him. And that kind of also stands for me as in, when you can really like see the truth and accept the situation for what happens and what's unfolded, that's when the healing really takes place. And that's when you'll really be able to kind of, you know, wake up, grab the sword, you know, have that sense of victory and power, and get back out into the world again, right? There's a kind of a sense here that maybe this sort of shook your foundation a little bit with that number 4. So that's what I'm seeing here. It's really going to take that forgiveness, that acceptance. And, you know, the Hermit energy, you know, is about really taking that inner journey, that self-reflection. However, you know, there's also a healing journey that's unfolding with the Hermit energy, guys. And it's the more that we kind of like seek and understand that path forward does illuminate. You know, there is a link to the star energy with the Hermit, which is about that sort of restoring, healing, before we can kind of move forward again, before we can kind of have that sense of rebirth. So I really think it's time for you to come back to the world, Capricorn, and forgive and forget and move on from this hurt that you've been journeying, that's been caused at somebody else's hand. Otherwise, we can get stuck in that Five of Pentacles energy. I've got that over to the side here, which is that lack breeds lack. I'm attracting more of that energy into my life. I'm feeling hard done by. I'm slipping into victim mentality or consciousness. And I'm sure we've all know, because we've all been there at some stage in our lives, Capricorn, that when when our chips are down, you know, things seem to happen in threes. You know, we're attracting that kind of vibration. You may or may not believe in that. I do. So we want to raise our vibration, and the key with the Five of Pentacles is to see the bigger picture, right? And also to accept and to move on. That's what you're being called to do this week. Because Capricorn, we see the Nine of Swords here. It's like, you know what, if you just keep in that kind of mode that you were previously, the swords are going to keep on stacking up against you. You know, the Nine of Swords is the anxiety setting in. It's the feeling like everything's going wrong, everything's against us. It might be keeping you awake at night. That kind of energy. It's also a number 9, right? And, you know, with 2 number 9s in this reading, it's like, you know what, you're actually almost there with turning this corner. You just need to make that commitment in your mind and go for it and let it go. Almost there, almost complete. Number 10 is a completion, 9 is almost there. Because there's a new beginning that wants to open up for you, Capricorn. This is the Fool card in this particular deck. And we all know that the Fool is a brand new journey. It's the journey that the Hermit wants to take after that healing is complete. Once that star energy starts burning bright in his lantern, you know, that's when that path is illuminated. And the Starseed card asks you to have restored hope and faith and trust in the universe when you might have gone through a period of, you know, of losing that faith. It's time to get that faith back. And the Starseed asks you to move on to a new direction, a new path, a new journey, even though you might not be sure at this stage kind of where it's all heading, what that location's going to be. You're getting asked to take that leap anyway, guys. You know, we've got the Six of Swords over to the right hand side here at the bottom of the Rider deck. I'll just put this down so you can see it. And that is that card of necessary rite of passage. So I have a feeling that this situation might have taken you by surprise. It might have been quite a sudden thing, or the Seven of Swords kind of deception energy came out. You weren't expecting it, and you didn't really want to move on, but you have to, because the Six of Swords is making a necessary rite of passage in order to move to a greater place of harmony. But there's a sense of, you know, not really wanting to. We're feeling kind of a little bit resistant about that, but you know, it's inevitable because this person or situation was not, you know, in your highest interests. So the outcome energy here, the Tower, the Moon, and the Eight of Wands. Yeah, I mean, we can see here that the Tower is the energy that really comes in to shatter that illusion. So you might have been under a false premise or illusion that whoever you were dealing with in this situation had your back, was a friend, was a trusted partner, was faithful to you, something like that. But there's a sense here that they were operating in two faces, right? The Moon can be things going on in the shadowy depths behind the curtain. It can be a secret that's been held from you. I mean, it could have been even your partner, like spending the money in unconstructive ways, hiding something from you in that sense. With the Swords energy, though, I'm feeling more of a mind game, more of a manipulation. Well, they could be manipulating you to believe something. So there has been the secret going on, and I feel like, you know, it's the Tower that needs to fall that's going to lead to the swift change out of this, which will have you moving on. So the final Tower needs to fall, and that's the full acceptance of what's happened, realizing that there's probably nothing to be salvaged in this situation. We need to allow that energy to complete. We need to allow that Tower to fall, the illusion to be shattered. You know, we're having this big revelation of like how the situation actually is versus what we wanted to believe. And yeah, that's the Tower moment. And the Tower moment, guys, it's a blessing in disguise. It comes into, you know, create the sudden change, this shake up, this chaos in our lives, so that we can get back on our life path, so we can re-emerge from that rubble as the phoenix rising, so we can have that rebirth, right? So it's actually a positive thing, even though it can feel really chaotic, quite painful. I can see the stress and the hurt in this reading here, but why not just rip the band-aid off, let the Tower fall, because then it's all about rebuilding after that, guys. So that's what I am seeing there with that. You know, tune into your intuition. Intuitively, you know that there's been something going on, Capricorn. I mean, you're getting called back to that inner temple with that Oracle card. The Moon is also a card of intuition. So I think you can really trust the intuition over the mind. Like, even if the mind's trying to tell you, no, surely they wouldn't do that to me. then your gut might be twisting. You're getting like little tickles up your spine. That tells you, you know what, no, it actually is otherwise. So listen to the body more than the mind this week. And after that Tower falls though, Capricorn, I mean, Eight of Wands, this is swift change, right? Divine swift change. I feel like this is the turning point, the progress. Once we have that sense of taking our power back because we're not under the illusion anymore. And this is all stands for that action that you are taking, allowing the Tower to fall, moving on. So there's a big sense of divinity in this card. It can also mean a communication coming in that's going to create that swift change, usually over social media or phone or, you know, through the airwaves in some way. That can be this energy, and it might be that final message that brings the Tower down. This can also, both this card and the Six of Cards, the Six of Swords can also indicate travel or moving on. And I know, you know, we can't really travel a lot at the moment, but it can be a physical moving on, relocating, moving homes, or just distancing yourself from this person or situation. But it's all for the best, Capricorn, because this was not in your highest interest. So I do wish you all the best with it, Capricorn. It's an intense little situation that's unfolding here. Just keep in mind I'm reading for a collective. It may not be your story. That's absolutely fine. Don't make it fit if it doesn't. Not everyone will be journeying this week. It might be your reading next week. Leave me a comment if you do feel called to share. I do read them all. I try and respond to them all. It helps me get to know you guys and connect with your energies. And I'll see you back here next week for another weekly reading.